Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. The diagnostic trouble code DTC B1229, also known as DTC indicator 07, indicates an open circuit in the sunlight sensor circuit of the Honda Civic models from 2011 to 2015. The sunlight sensor plays a crucial role in the vehicle's climate control system as it detects the intensity of sunlight and adjusts the cabin temperature accordingly to enhance passenger comfort. This sensor is typically located on the dashboard near the windshield, ensuring it can effectively measure sunlight exposure. An issue with this circuit can lead to improper climate control function, causing discomfort. When diagnosing this error, the HDS, Honda Diagnostics System tool, is used to help troubleshoot and identify the source of the fault more efficiently. Understanding the functionality of the sunlight sensor and its wiring is essential for effective troubleshooting. The error described by DTC B1229 points out an open circuit, specifically within the TSUN, sunlight sensor signal line. This implies that there may be a break in the signal wire that transmits data from the sunlight sensor to the climate control unit. The malfunctioning sunlight sensor cannot send accurate information about sunlight intensity, which may prevent the climate control system from functioning effectively. The sensor itself is positioned on the dashboard area, near the windshield, where it can receive unobstructed sunlight. Diagnostic steps will involve checking both the sensor and its associated wiring to determine the cause of the failure. Proper visualization of the wiring at the 32P connector for the climate control unit and the 5P connector for the sunlight sensor is crucial in diagnosing this issue. When diagnosing DTC B1229, several potential causes must be considered. Firstly, loose wires or poor connections in the sunlight sensor circuit often lead to intermittent failures or complete failure, indicated by the DTC. Secondly, the sunlight sensor itself may be faulty, which can be verified through testing and, if necessary, replacement. Thirdly, if there is an open circuit in the T-Sun or sensor COM wires specifically, this would disrupt the flow of data between the climate control unit and the sensor. Each of these potential issues must be systematically evaluated to pinpoint the root cause of the error. Proper diagnostic procedures will help ensure a thorough assessment and effective resolution of the issue. The symptoms associated with DTC B1229 can greatly affect the driving experience. One prominent symptom is inaccurate climate control, as the system relies on input from the sunlight sensor to make adjustments. Without a functioning sensor, the climate control unit may not react appropriately to changes in sunlight intensity, leading to discomfort in the cabin. Additionally, drivers may notice the DTC indicator illuminated on the dashboard, signaling that there is an issue that requires attention. If left unresolved, these symptoms can escalate, resulting in more significant climate control malfunctions that could potentially impact the vehicle's overall comfort and drivability. Therefore, prompt investigation upon noticing these symptoms is recommended. The first step in troubleshooting DTC B1229 involves verifying the problem using the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS. Start by clearing the existing DTC to reset the system. Once cleared, switch the ignition to the lock position and then turn it back to the on position. This action prepares the vehicle for a self-diagnostic check via the HDS or the climate control unit. After completing the self-diagnostic, you must check the system for any return DTCs. If DTC B1229 reappears, this indicates a persistent issue that requires further investigation. However, if the code does not return, it may suggest an intermittent failure. prompting the need to check for loose wires or poor connections in the sunlight sensor circuit. In the second step, attention shifts to the sunlight sensor itself. Testing the sunlight sensor is essential as it directly influences the vehicle's climate control operations. To perform this test, use appropriate diagnostic tools to ensure the sensor is working correctly. If the sensor passes the test and is deemed operational, you will proceed to the next step in the troubleshooting process. Conversely, if the test indicates the sunlight sensor is faulty, replacement of the sensor is necessary before continuing. This step is crucial to confirm that the sensor is functioning as expected and is not the source of the DTC B1229 error. Ensuring the integrity of the sunlight sensor is foundational to correcting the circuit issue. Next, you will check the continuity of the T-sun line, which is critical for the sunlight sensor's operation. Begin by turning the ignition switch to the lock position to ensure safety. Disconnect the climate control unit's 32P connector along with the sunlight sensor's 5P connector. At this stage, you will assess the circuit for continuity by checking between test point 1 at the climate control unit, 32P connector number 21, PUR wire, and test point 2 at the sunlight sensor, 5P connector number 2, PUR wire. Continuity indicates that the T-sun wire is intact and functional. Should there be continuity, it confirms the wire is operational, allowing for progression to the final troubleshooting steps. If no continuity is present, an open in the wire needs to be repaired, restoring the circuit before proceeding. The final troubleshooting step focuses on checking the continuity of the sensor COM line, another vital element in the sunlight sensor circuit. Similar to the previous step, ensure the ignition is in the lock position and that both connectors, climate control unit and sunlight sensor, remain disconnected. Check continuity between test point 1 at the climate control unit, 32P connector, number 20, red wire, and test point 2 at the sunlight sensor, 5P connector, number 4, red wire. If continuity is confirmed, it signifies that the sensor COM wire is functioning properly. However, if continuity fails, this indicates an open in the wire between the climate control unit and the sunlight sensor, necessitating a repair of that open circuit. Without addressing this, the climate control system will remain non-functional, resulting in an incomplete diagnosis. After completing the necessary repairs for DTC B1229, it's crucial to perform a final verification to ensure that the issue is resolved. First, recheck for any diagnostic trouble codes using the Honda Diagnostics system. If DTC B1229 does not return, this indicates a successful repair. Next, test the functionality of the sunlight sensor to confirm it is operating effectively. The sensor should respond appropriately to changes in sunlight intensity during the test. Lastly, verify the overall operation of the climate control system to ensure that it is functioning precisely as designed. A comprehensive verification process is essential to ensure driver and passenger comfort without future interruptions caused by the same issue. Preventive maintenance plays a key role in avoiding future occurrences of DTC B1229. Conducting regular inspections of the connectors associated with the sunlight sensor is vital. Loose or corroded connections can lead to intermittent failures. Additionally, consistently checking the wiring for any signs of wear, fraying, or damage should be part of routine maintenance. Ensuring that the sunlight sensor itself is calibrated and functioning appropriately will hinder unnecessary strain on the climate control system. By prioritizing these preventive measures, you can enhance the longevity of the components involved and maintain the overall efficiency of the climate control system. This proactive approach minimizes the risk of encountering the DTC and keeps the vehicle in a reliable operating condition. In conclusion, understanding the sunlight sensor's role is critical in the context of DTC B1229 and the vehicle's climate control system. Systematic troubleshooting steps are paramount in diagnosing and resolving the issues effectively. From clearing the DTC and testing the sensor to checking for continuity in critical wires. Each step builds upon the previous one, ensuring thorough evaluation and repair. Additionally, the importance of regular maintenance cannot be emphasized enough, as preventive care can significantly reduce the likelihood of reoccurrence. Being proactive in checking connectors, wiring, and sensor functionality allows you to maintain a comfortable driving environment, thus enhancing the overall experience for the driver and passengers alike. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time!